Hello, folks. This is Kevin from Good Day, Good Prayers. I want to thank you in advance for the fact that we are getting some new subscribers. We are getting more likes than we were in the past, and we are having people share our videos, and we are getting some comments, and we appreciate all of those things. The fact that you are doing those things is showing us that we are beginning to grow and we are able to get our information out to more people. That is very important. And one of the reasons why it is so important is because of the fact that a lot of the information that you are hearing is information that has never been reported before. We are actually the first. As I have said in a number of occasions, I have been researching for about 35 years. I started in the beginning of the 1990s. And because of that, I have a lot of information that most of the other people, in fact, possibly all of the other people, do not have. And because of that, I'm able to give you some information that you're not going to hear from anywhere else. And that's okay because of the fact that that is my job as a former researcher who is now a private researcher and not a public researcher anymore. Anyway, my job now is to make sure that you get the information and the right information. Now, I just finished a 3-part series. Tomorrow, which is Sunday, I will be uploading the last of those 3 parts. And this one that I'm doing today could very well be the 4th in that part. But I'm going to call this one The Real Killing Begins, setting the stage for President Hillary. And then I'm going to give you something else, which is the number 33. What was very interesting at the end of the Bush administration and the beginning of the Obama administration, things kind of changed. There were cartels that were coming in to the illegal alien fray as far as the foreign military was concerned in the United States. But there were also Arab organizations, terrorist organizations that were being brought in. The Arab military soldiers, literally. And that was the Obama policy, and he made sure that these people came in. Now, he also was to set the stage so that President Hillary Clinton could be the next president of the United States. She would have been number 45. Inside of the voting machines, they had hidden 33 million votes that nobody was supposed to see. And this was long before any voting was to begin, even the early voting. And those votes were hidden there for the express purpose of making sure that she would win. Well, if you will remember, she hid 33,000 pages, and there were 33 million votes hiding in the machines. And of course, the number that is most noted with the satanic globalists and the deep staters is the number 33. So when you get up to that point where you are a 33 number Mason, well, you've arrived essentially. Now, she wasn't supposed to lose, but she did, unfortunately. It's going to be because of that loss and because of the victory by President Trump. that it isn't going to be safe for, well, the Clintons, the Bushes, and a lot of these other people who are from Washington, D.C., people who are heads of corporations, people who are heads of banks, people who are in the education system. None of these people are going to be able to safely walk down the streets. There are going to be two things that are going to kick them, and Q is very, very careful to point this out. And the big one, as they have said, is going to be the murder and the rape and the selling and the destruction of children and young people. But when you think about children, we're not talking about 10, 11, 12-year-olds up to, say, 24 or 25. We're actually talking about babies, infants, 1, 2, 3-year-olds. But that's not it. The people on the left are accepting money to try to protect the illegal aliens from being sent home or being sent to prison. Why would they have to be sent to prison? Well, because of the fact that they have murdered so many Americans, with hundreds of thousands of Americans being killed by these illegal aliens, the Muslims from South and Central America, cartel members, terrorist organizations, even soldiers from various countries from the Middle East. And these people have murdered hundreds of thousands of Americans, not on the battlefield in some other country, but right here at home, on the battlefield of Chicago, of the battlefield of Portland, of the battlefield of Los Angeles, the battlefield of Memphis, Tennessee, the battlefield of New York City. All over the place, they have murdered these people. Now, Q said it's not going to be safe for them to walk down the street. Some of them are going to be relieved when they get arrested. But here's a little secret. There are people who are rioting. There are people who are agitators. There are people that are attacking ICE and all of these other people that are out there trying to get rid of these murderers off of our streets. Some of you are taking money, thousands of dollars, even hundreds of dollars, and some of you aren't getting anything at all because, well, you were left out of the loop and you don't have any kind of a leg to stand on. It's not going to be safe for you to walk down the streets either. The fact is that people are going to know who you are. They are going to see your picture on the news. They are going to see your face. They're going to see the acts that you committed against the ICE agents. And people are going to realize, wait a dang minute, these people who are illegals are trying to wipe us out as a society. That's why they were brought here by these three presidents mainly. And they are out there killing Americans. There are two things that Q says that are very important, and the first one I just told you. That is, you won't be able to walk down the street safely. And many people are going to be so relieved when they finally go to prison and they don't have to be in the public. But are you going to be safe in prison? Ask yourself that question. There's one other thing that Q said, and it's very important, and we need to think about this. You're seeing corporate heads, you're seeing bankers, you're seeing a lot of these different people, even in Congress and so on, and they're resigning from their jobs, thinking that that's it. I lose my job and that's it. They're still going to be tried. They're still going to go to prison. Some of them will be executed for what they did. But before they get to that point, there is a time, And Q called it Suicide Weekend. Well, there's going to be a lot of people committing suicide. My question for you, is it going to be just corporate leaders? Is it going to just be bankers? Is it going to be doctors and nurses? Is it just going to be educators? Is it just going to be people that are in various parts of various governments around the world? Is it going to be lawyers? Is it going to be judges? And is it going to be rioters who are out there on the streets? And now, before God and everybody, they are known who they are. Who is going to be the ones who ultimately commit suicide so that they don't have to live with the fact that everybody knows what they did? They're hiding their faces so you can't see them. However, Space Force has the ability to identify all of these people. They didn't know it. There's two ways they can be identified. Number one, they have the ability to tell who you are, your DNA, and that kind of thing. They also have the ability to follow you to wherever you're going. But there's one other thing. That orange spray that they're spraying into the faces of these people, you can maybe get rid of that eventually, but you can't get rid of the stuff that is on your face, and that can be easily identified by Space Force, and they know exactly who you are. And those are at least three ways that they know who you are. This is Kevin from Good Day, Good Prayers, and I want you to have a good day.